After a week of practice last week in California, the New Orleans Saints, well, their first teamers seemed to hold their own against two of the better teams in the NFC. On Saturday in a preseason game, the second and third teamers left us all wondering, what the hell was that? Is that performance is it a foreshadowing of what we could see seep into the regular season, or should we completely throw Saturday in the trash? One thing for sure is the Saints certainly have a QB2 problem, as neither is Zach Wilson nor Spencer Rattler seem ready for prime time. Does the obvious lows in the worst preseason loss in 30 years, if those were lows, what were the highs? Did anyone help their cause for making this team? Did anyone stand out to you? What does the Dat family think as we sit less than 3 weeks away from the regular season opener at the Detroit Lions? What do the odds makers think? Well, we're going to get into all that, and we'll have a couple other things to talk about, including what the hell's going on in this transfer portal, and can anybody just play college football again? We're going to get to all of it. You'll have plenty of time to get it all off your chest on the Dattitude podcast, which is next.
Ready to hear the straight scoop on local and national sports? It's time for Jim Derry's take on the Saints, LSU, what betting lines to ponder, and more. He's got opinions, he's got insight, and he's got Dattitude. And he'll always tell you the way it is, or at least the way he thinks it is.
What is up this morning, Dattitude family? We're going to call up the second string to do the show today, but Gabe he's no Zach Wilson. We have standards here on Dattitude, episode number 534, presented by Evangeline Securities for a Monday, August the 24th, 2026. We don't know if we'll have standards for episode number 535. You'll have to come back and see. You know what it is? It is birthday week here on Dat, baby. It is birthday week. That's right. Within the next 7 days, two of us on this show are turning a year older. Uh-oh. That's how I'm going to start the show this morning. This is not a surprise, and if you're surprised, you should start watching some other sport other than football. Breaking news. The Cleveland Browns have named Deshaun Watson the starter of the whatever, AAA. No, the real football team. Oh, not the minor league team? Gabe? Are they getting relegated? Do they have that in the NFL? Deshaun Watson, baby. Oh, Jesus Christ, who cares? Let the Shador lovers, let them come out of their holes. They were so supplanted in their holes. They've been waiting. They've had their fingers on the tweet buttons. They have been typing in messages all weekend long, waiting for the final cut down to come. Shador sucks. Deshaun Watson sucks. The Cleveland Browns suck. That's the show today. We're not even going to talk about the Saints. Just kidding. Breaking news this morning. Yeah, now that that's out of the way, we can move on. I can't wait to see if that's in the comments later on. In case you're new here, I'm Jim Derry. 36 years in the New Orleans sports media scene. In fact, it's 36 years a week from today, 36 years ago. Does that make any sense? If you fast forward in time, a week from today, which happens to be one of our birthdays, it's not mine. I'm just going to tell you. If you go forward a week and then go back 36 years, that was the first time I ever covered any sporting event ever. And the next day I got to see my name in print and thought it was the coolest thing ever, and who knows. I should have stayed in education probably. I should have been. Could you imagine me teaching your kids? Is the thought of that, how scary is the thought of that? That if I would have stayed in education, there's probably a good chance that someone out there watching this show, I'd have been teaching their kids. Just think of that. How bright and sunshiny they'd all be. Yeah, anyway, that's who I am. It's Monday. I'm getting excited about today's show because we have all sorts of things to talk about coming up in a little bit. The Saints were, what's the word for it? Horrendous. That's a good word. We haven't used that word in a while. Horrendous. That's what the Saints were, 34-0 in preseason loss to the Rams. Worst preseason loss since they fell 41-6 to the Kansas City Chiefs. This is, Patrick Mahomes, he's not 30 yet, right, Gabe? This is before Mahomes was born. Is Mahomes 30? Did he hit 30 yet? He's close. I don't know if he's 30 or not. Anyway. So tell me what day, I want to know what day, like the exact day Patrick Mahomes was born. That's how specific. He turns 31 on September 17th. So the last time the Saints had this bad of a loss, it was to the Kansas City Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes was probably not even walking yet. He turns 31 on September 17th. He was not even 11. He was 11 months old. There you go. Shaw Matt, baby. How about that? That year, by the way, 1996, for you old farts like me, you remember, the Saints started the regular season, okay, after they got bombed by the Chiefs 41-6. Not saying it's foreshadowing or anything. I'm just stating facts. I told you I'd be roses and sunshine this morning. That 1996 season when the Saints lost 41-6 to the Chiefs in preseason, they started the regular year 0-5. Jamora quit midway through the season. Rick Venturi was the coach for the last half of the year. And then, as an extra special present, the next 3 years, Saints fans were treated to Mike Ditka. So there's some roses. Is that what the Saints haven't? No. I would bet good money that they don't have to go through that again. I mean, I guess theoretically you never really know, right? Anyway. We're going to talk about, we're not going to talk about a whole lot about the game itself. It's more about preseason. You talk about what does it mean for the future, right? We're going to get into the poll question of Saints today. We're going to get into that in just a minute. Where are you going to put the poll question? I guess you got to go back top right now, huh, Gabe? Not yet, but it give you a little second to ponder because I know I changed the graphics up on you again. I'm trying to find something that I like and will stick into the regular season so I don't screw with it in the regular season. I think I finally found it. I spent a lot of time. I spent way too much time that y'all don't even probably notice. Way more time yesterday spending on graphics than I needed to. Probably, I'm not exaggerating, probably like 2.5 hours trying all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I think I finally settled on this. I think we finally have our regular season graphics. The only thing I'm probably going to change is, in case you care, is the font of the headline on both the front and in our title. I'm probably going to go to this this new font that I found here at the bottom left and with our other graphics. Not the joke. I'm not going to get in the weeds. Y'all care about, how about the QB2 debate? You care about that? Zach Wilson versus Spencer Rattler. Does it matter? I mean, some people think it does matter. We're going to get into that later on this morning. And how about bright spots? We're going to get into some bright spots. I will say there are bright spots. They're at one position, two people at one position. I thought, now, of course, I can't wait to hear the backlash when I say this, okay? I thought Kendra Miller was a bright spot, okay? And, again, we'll get into the stats. The stats weren't super great, but you got to remember, he's been in pads less than a week. Okay, and he got out there in a preseason game, and dude, there's no question. Again, I understand what y'all hate about him, all that crap, but dude looks like an NFL running back. We'll see what happens going forward. And how about, speaking of looking like an NFL running back, I have liked since they signed this kid, and I was still working for On SI when they signed him, and I kind of did a little deep dive. There were about 3 or 4 players of the UDFAs that I did a deep dive in. And one of them was C.J. Donaldson. And I really think that C.J. Donaldson, I liked what I saw when I was looking at him. His numbers at Ohio State weren't fantastic. But he did score a lot of touchdowns. He's a short yardage guy. He's a bull, man. So he's probably a guy that could play fullback and have some carries for you all at the same time. I like C.J. Donaldson. I think he needs to be on the team. We're going to talk more about him later on. Talk about him in the comments if you like. We're going to get to it all in a minute. And again, birthday week. You know, who says you shouldn't celebrate getting old? I do. The fact that I'm here for another birthday, I'm celebrating. So we're going to have fun with that. How was your weekend before we get to any more? My wife and I, we had our first date night without kids. I mean, do you really have a date night if you bring the kids? I don't know. Maybe you can call. If you never get to go on one, then sure. But we had our first, even if it's not a date, we went to dinner. Just her and I. I don't remember the last time that, I really don't. I'm not exaggerating. I don't remember the last time my wife and I went to dinner without kids. And it was absolutely fantastic. Shout out to, I don't know if it's Maribo or Maribo in Covington. I think it's Maribo. But Chauncey was our server. He was awesome. He's a 20-year-old student at Southeastern. He used to play basketball in Mandeville. And he was fantastic. And shout out. Probably not watching the show, but in case he crosses paths or someone who knows him, tell him I gave him a shout out. He was outstanding. The food was incredible. It was our first time there, even though it's been 4 or 5 years. And so a free plug, Maribo in Covington, downtown Covington. Absolutely outstanding. Loved it. That was my weekend. We talk a little bit about everything on this show as we go forward. We're going to get into, as soon as I tell you a little bit about this show, we're going to get into the transfer portal BS, and then it's going to be all Saints after that. So if you got anything to say about that, now's your time to type it in the comments, because you know what is different about this show. Well, you talk to us, we talk back to you. You type it in the comments, YouTube or Facebook, no matter how you watch it. We would prefer it if you watch it on YouTube, but that's okay if you watch it on Facebook too. The best way to support the channel is to watch us, subscribe, give us a like. You know what? And if you're watching after the fact, you can still type in comments, because I look at all of them. Even if you type them in after the fact, even if you type them in at 2 in the morning, I'm going to see them the next day when I wake up, because I have my alerts set up. But that's what's different about this show. And if you want to talk to me after the fact, you can find me on X at Jim Derry Jr. or email me, jim@jimderry.com. We thank you all for supporting the show. Remember, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and help us get to, I don't know, whatever. Help us get to 2,000 subscribers by, let me make up some random date. The randomizer is going on in my head. October the 14th. What's special about the October the 14th? Absolutely nothing. I don't even know what day of the week that is. Doesn't matter. Transfer portal. Real quick again, I know that there's going to be comments about this. How about Daquan Wright? Was playing for the Browns until a couple days ago. Was cut. Assuming he clears waivers from Cleveland and the courts don't step in, there's an excellent chance he'll be the first active NFL player who's actually on a college roster again. I got to be careful with, Gabe and I were talking about the semantics of what this, I mean, he's not going to be the first player back in the transfer portal. We talked about Jack Pyburn a week or two ago, whatever, who was playing for the Bucs, and now he's trying to get back into school, and who knows where the hell he'll land, if anywhere. This dude is almost certainly going to be back playing for LSU, or at least on the roster. Well, I'd say back. He was at Ole Miss last year, so it's not like he's back playing at LSU. Be back playing college football. If he clears waivers, which I'm sure he's going to, and the courts don't step in, and there's no indication that the court's going to step in. This is getting nuts. Now, supposedly, it's specific to this class, and that, it's not going to happen anymore after this year, and this is a special year, and because the courts say they should be granted an extra year of college eligibility because of whatever, blah, 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 don't care. But we're not dumb, right? Once you open Pandora's box of this kind of crap, it doesn't usually close. And even coaches, like real football coaches, are coming out and talking about how stupid it is, how silly it is. You had Todd Monken, head coach of the Cleveland Browns, the same head coach who just named Deshaun Watson the starting quarterback. That's a whole different story. He said, quote, "This shit is crazy. I was wondering why Lane Kiffin was calling me last week." I mean, and it is crazy. And so now, look, I'm all for kids, and they're not really kids because they're all older than 21. But I'm all for young adults having multiple opportunities to do things. But don't you think it's getting a little crazy? I mean, at what point do we stop this? Or do we not stop it? Does it devolve into something to where, you know what, the hell with eligibility. If you want to play college football and you're not good enough to play in the NFL, then you can just keep on playing college football as long as you're going to school. I mean, to me, that kind of seems where this is going. I hope I'm wrong, but it's getting silly. Last year at Ole Miss, caught 39 passes for 635 yards and 5 touchdowns. Now, in his defense, he's not good enough to play in the NFL, probably. But where does it end? What happened to once you declare, it used to be at least until you get an agent or whatever it is, you could pull your name out of the hat from the draft and you can go back to the college football and whatever. And I'm fine with that. If you don't get an agent, you don't make a cent, you don't make any money playing professional football or professional sports, period. If you don't make a cent from professional football, you could go back to college football. But he made money. You made money as a professional athlete. Now you're going back to amateur college athletic sports. Again, if y'all want to comment about that, that's coming up in just a minute. But Daquan Wright could be the newest Tiger. I guess, theoretically, as soon as today, right? I mean, I think he would clear waivers today. Is it today or tomorrow? I don't know. Whatever it is, soon. Gabe also wants to point out we still have 5 spots remaining in our fantasy football league. We're going to have a Dattitude fantasy football league as of right now, as we record this at 9:17 a.m. on Monday, August 24th. We first opened it up to all the Dattitude members, and they have had their opportunity, and now we're going to open it up to preferably regulars. So if you want to join, email me, and then I'll pass it on to Gabe. Just email me. Jim@jimderry.com. If you email me your email address, if you email me, I guess you don't have to email me your email address, because if you email me, the email address will be on there. How many times can you say email in the course of 30 seconds? We're going to try. But anyway, if you're interested in joining the Dattitude Fantasy Football League, we got a few spots left. Waiting for Earl's picks, by the way. Earl, if you're watching, you haven't joined yet. You bet you need to do so before we fill your spot. All right. Let's move on to the rest of the show. Before we get started, and again, probably we'll talk a little bit more about transfer portal BS if you want to type that in the comments. I have not looked at any of the comments. I will very shortly. Before all that, let me tell you about our friends at Evangeline Securities. Of course, they're a company that can help you decide if it's the right time to sell your family-run or privately held business. And just as importantly, they don't need preseason. They always can help you figure out what that business is worth. It's always the regular season for Nick Braden, Evangeline's founding partner. Have them, look, someone you know, you're thinking about retiring, your aunt, your uncle, they've been having this business for 30 years, they're ready to retire, 50 years, whatever it may be. They don't even know how to get started, but they're ready. You know what? We want to get out. We've been thinking about it. Or we at least want to consider getting out. Time to reach out to Evangeline's founding partner, Nick Braden, as I said. He will start by scheduling a complimentary valuation from his office, either on Poydras Street or in Lafayette. And from there, you'll be well informed to begin to make the decision on if you want to proceed. What happens after that? What happens after you figure, all right, we know what the business is worth. Now what? Well, you're going to have to wait a little bit. We'll tell you more later in the show. In the meantime, you can check them out at www.evangelinesecurities.com. And, of course, also a huge friend of the show, we got to tell you about my friend Joe DiStefano.
Louisiana, we're leveling up, and people are taking notice. Our team has grown its sales by 67% since this time last year, but don't worry, we're still searching for ambitious people who want more out of life than the 9-to-5 routine. With Level Up Louisiana, we offer real support, real training, real opportunity, no corporate fluff, no empty promises. If you're hungry for growth, tired of ceilings, or simply ready for a change that actually moves your life forward, this might be your moment. This sounds like you? Scan the QR code on the screen or email us at louisiana.division@ushacareers.com. That's louisiana.division@ushacareers.com. You can also call or text Joe DiStefano at 504-234-2132. With offices in Mandeville and Baton Rouge, you build your future with Level Up Louisiana.
What that means, it's time to get on. Y'all remember? How about the old school dudes? How about the old school? Do y'all remember this mug? This is like the mug that I used to use way back in the day. Like when we first started this show, people would give me crap. I haven't used it in a while. I'm like, you know what? We're going old school today. We're bringing out a Little Mermaid mug. I'm a girl dad. I ain't proud. I told you that already. Breaking news. Sort of. I don't think this is a big deal, but we'll announce it anyway because that's what we do here on the show. The New Orleans Saints are signing another kicker. That's how unenthused they are with their kicker competition. I still say 80% chance it's Charlie Smith, but I could be wrong. They're bringing in Daniel Carlson, the NFL veteran, and I'm going to look up some stuff live on TV. Daniel Carlson, former Las Vegas Raider. He's been in the league for how many years? 8 years. He used to be really good, although he's kind of... Last year, let's see, what was he do last year? 22 of 27. I mean, it's hard to tell how good you are when you play for the Raiders and you don't even get a lot of chances to kick field goals. We had 27 field goal opportunities last year. God, the Raiders stunk. But he used to be really good. Back in 2020, made 94.3% of his field goals, 33 of 35. How about in 2021? 40 of 43. That's when Derek Carr was his teammate. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. Anyway, he's 31 years old. His long last year was, well, how long was his long last year? His long was 60. He made a 60-yard field goal last year, so he's got a leg. He's made field goals he had 2 years in a row. His long was 54, 57, before that 56. So he's got a leg. Why is he available, by the way? Why did the Raiders cut him? Gabe, do you know the answer to that? If you do, go ahead and just put it down there. And so anyway, interesting. There you go. Time to get to the comments. We're going to get more to Daniel Carlson in a little bit. UBN is back. He's home. $50 super chat. Thank you so much, UBN, as always, for supporting this show. Even though he's probably going to say something that's going to tick me off, because I don't look at comments until for the most part, until I click on them. He says this $50 super chat brought to you by a Rams money line plus 129 preseason bet. Call the number. Still thinking 10 wins in division champ. It's preseason, dumbass. First of all, I wasn't thinking 10 wins before your super chat. I wasn't thinking division champ. I know some people were. But if anyone changes their opinion on a football team for the regular season by what they see in preseason, then there's a different number for you to call. It's the psychosis number. Is that really the way I should put it? I don't know. Mental help. Mental help at Dattitude.com. Get mental help at Dattitude. There you go. Gabe, can we book that email address, please? Get mental help at Dattitude.com. I want to book that email address because, first of all, you bet money on a preseason game on a money line. Wacko Jacko, call the number. Good for you, you won. Doesn't mean that's not number calling worthy. And P.S., you're asking people to change their opinions on a football team because of what you saw in the preseason by a bunch of guys who aren't even going to be on this team. Good for you. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Next. Sav's here. Not sure if he's a fan of NFL players being able to go back to college to play, and yes, our depth scares me. I mean, you don't have to be a fan of it. It's going to happen, right? I mean, it is what it is. Jerry's here. Hope everyone is fully recovered from the Saints game. It's a new week. Yeah, it's a new week. UBN, thank God he's back. Typing it, man. One of these days, I'm gonna ask him. Maybe he'll give me a real number, percentage on how much of the crap that he types in does he actually believe. I'm thinking like 43%. Alvin's here. Good morning. Can we hear from the Wilson people as number 2 quarterback? Does it matter? I mean, I don't know if you're being facetious or whatever. You can't really think Spencer Rattler is better, right? I mean, again, and the numbers don't tell the whole story department. Neither one of them were better. If you ask me who was better, I'm going to tell you neither one. They both stunk up the joint. I'm just saying. You're going to get back to that. Kyle Sherman, who has a new son-in-law. Good morning. Best thing he did Saturday was deciding not to go to SoFi with his Rams friends. It's where Who Dat hopes go to die. Man, we just don't play well there, do we? We just don't play well at SoFi or in LA, or Southern California. I shouldn't say LA. It's not in LA. You need a voodoo priestess and gree dust on that field. There's no doubt. Can we? How about some snakes? Can we bring some snakes out to SoFi next time we go out there? When is the next time we go out there? Saints. I forget the schedule already. Usually I know it by heart. You'd think I'd know it by heart. Saints don't go to LA this year, do they? Or do they? I don't think. No Rams on the schedule this year. Gabe, do me a favor. Look it up and see future schedules. I know that you could see a lot of them. See if you can find one the next time the Saints go to L.A. so we can make ourselves feel good about it. Good morning, Charles Mangus. Another hot day. It's August the 24th. Of course it's hot. Come on, man. Musette, good morning. That was pathetic. Adam says if Shuck gets hurt, the Saints are absolutely screwed. I mean, we knew that already. I mean, that's not new. But yes, you are correct. Brian Cavett, who dat? Are you worried? Nope. They basically played 3 games in 5 days, tired legs and bodies in a reality. That leads us to our poll question. What a segue. What a segue. I guess we can put it over the yeah, that's fine. You can leave it that. Whatever you want. You know what? Put it back top right. I think let's have a little. There you go. It's kind of perfect. It fits exactly over 3 spots there. I actually meant to have a slide without all this crap on it on the right, and I made one, and then for some reason when I imported it over, it did the same one twice. So anyway, you get stats today. What is the question of today, the poll question of today, what is your level of concern from the poor play on Saturday versus the Rams? Type in the number 1 if your answer is, it's preseason, dude. Chill. Not worried yet. Come on, man. Type in the number 2 if your answer is, the only thing that worries me so far is QB2. That's supposed to say QB2. The only thing that worries me is QB2. Because, I mean, we're not worried about Chuck, at least not yet. Type in the number 3. Let me guess who voted already. Type in the number 3 if your answer is, there's some worry there. The defense stinks too. It's not just the offense. The defense stunk, and it does stink. Type in number 3. And type in number 4 if you want to be hanging around with UBN. I mean, I didn't even look, but I'm just assuming. Is he the one? Yeah, of course he is. I mean, really, there's got to be a way to like make his vote count like for half. I mean, I don't want to discount his vote. Well, let's look into that, Gabe. See if there's a way to that StreamYard, like you only get a half a vote if you're a numbnuts. Type in the number 4 if your answer is, it's a long time. Sound the alarms. And the starter should play in the preseason. I mean, that's actually legit. I mean, there's a lot of people who have a beef with, I don't know. I got to be honest. If you're going to have preseason, and look, I told you this already, and I was watching, I kind of scrolled through the YouTube weeds last night because I had kind of finished getting ready for the show. And I started just looking through different things about football, and there were a couple of them that kind of agreed with me. You know, last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, we were talking about how I think they're going to get rid of preseason. I'm not the only one who thinks that. I mean, there's lots of talk that preseason is going to end up being these controlled scrimmages and where teams go out to wherever and spend an entire week like the Saints have been doing. And that's actually going to be televised in a thing. And I really think that, to me, I hate the whole we're making a thing out of controlled scrimmages and practices. But to me, it's better than preseason. Because preseason, all preseason does to me, they don't care anymore. I mean, have one preseason game, maybe. Have the Hall of Fame game and a preseason week. One preseason week. The rest of it is controlled scrimmages. It just doesn't. They're not playing anybody. You're not finding any. To me, in my opinion, and so I guess I will give my answer here, Gabe. If you want to type in my answer, I'm gonna vote, and I know this might surprise you, but my level of concern, and this is, like I said, the wording of this question is, what is your level of concern from the poor play on Saturday? Not your level of concern overall. What does Saturday's performance? What does it do for you? And my answer would be, number 1, it's preseason. Chill. I mean, look, it would either be 1 or 2. I can understand 2 as well. But when you talk about what you saw on Saturday, it stinks, it sucks, they didn't show up. I guess what concerns me more than anything, maybe this should have been one of the answers. The Saints look totally unprepared. And I'll go back to Brian's comment here. Is he worried? Nope. They basically played 3 games. That's bullshit, okay? They didn't basically play 3 games in 5 days. You know what? Everybody else did too. The Rams did the same damn thing, okay? I don't want to hear it. The Rams were way more prepared. Again, I know it's preseason, so in the grand scheme of things, the answer is chill. But I guess it does concern me that they showed up on Saturday and looked like they didn't show up. They were completely clueless. They were lost. You know, Gabe brought up a point in the members-only chat about the ridiculous number of penalties. I don't even remember what the number was. I think it was like 10 or 11 or whatever it was. What is it, 12? Is it 12? I mean, that's absurd. And again, it's preseason, so in the grand scheme of those sorts of things that carry over, okay? If this team is going to be better than the odds makers expect, and that's an 8-win team. The odds makers right now have it at 7. They still have it at 7.5. It's still it hasn't changed. The opening line for the Saints-Lions game is still -7. That hasn't changed. The odds makers think that this is an 8-win football team. To be better than an 8-win football team, there are plenty of things you need to do. Obviously, keep your quarterback healthy, keep all your important players healthy, and all those sorts of things. But you're not going to be able to go out there. You're going to have to be one of the top 10 teams in penalties committed, like least penalties. There's no question this team has to be able to do that. And look, they have not been crisp. Other than that first half against the Jags, now they've played 4 halves of preseason football. So again, it's preseason. Chill. You can't. They're as vanilla can be. You know, if you like cookies and cream, you're not getting it from preseason. You're getting vanilla. You're not even getting the homemade vanilla with the vanilla bean. You're getting straight up like generic vanilla, like old K&B vanilla. You're not even getting Bluebell vanilla. You're getting nasty vanilla and you don't even want to eat. That's what you're getting right now. So it's kind of hard to tell, but in the grand scheme of things, if you show up, even the second team, if the second team shows up unprepared, it is something to worry about a little bit. But in the grand scheme of things, overall, my answer is number 1, it's preseason chill. So before we take the poll question off and I get back to comments, one last time, because you're going to have some more time, you'll be able to vote again in a little bit. But what is your level of concern from the poor play on Saturday versus the Rams? Not overall, just from Saturday, what is your level of concern? Type in the number 1 if your answer is it's preseason, chill out. Type in the number 2 is the only thing that worries me is quarterback too. We're going to get to that. Type in the number 3 is there's a level of worry because the defense absolutely stinks too. Or type in the number 4 and you and UBN can go have a po' boy together. It's alarm time. Sound the alarms. The starter should be in there playing. All right, we'll come back to that in a little bit. I want to get some more comments here this morning. Ahmed says, good morning. This show should start at least 10:30 a.m. Ahmed, I guess you haven't been here to hear me explain this before. You can take the poll question down, Gabe, for a little bit. I would love to start it later. I can't. I have a real job too. I have this job, and I have a job that, you know, whatever, however you want to call it. I have 2 jobs, and the job that pays a vast majority of my bills requires me to be to work on a Monday by no later than 11 o'clock or at least 11:30, give or take. And so there's no way I could do a show at 11 a.m. and be done by 11:30. It just can't be done. So I wish we could start later. I would love if we could start later. I wish I could go back to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. and still have a Sunday show during the season like we're going to, but I can't. So I apologize. Let's see here. What else we got? Kyle Sherman says Brady has a 5th year of eligibility. Hope Lane gives him a ring. Yeah. Come on, man. Charles is still saying 10 wins. Josh DeVoice is here. Good morning. Every drive felt like, quote, let's see what absolutely nobody expected. I mean, it was hard to watch, man. It really was. Ahmed says Ted Lasso taught him what relegated mean. Yeah. I mean, should they? They should have relegation, right? Gabe says he thinks the worrying about the penalties is a lot of them were procedural. He thinks they had 2. They did have 2 12-man penalty on the fields. You know. Also, breaking news this morning as we get into, we're talking Saints, but Tulane breaking news this morning. It's been a battle, and yes, it is hot here in the dungeon. The AC is working, but I guess I didn't turn it down low enough. Tulane 50-year senior Zion Chris Gremion will be the team's starting quarterback. So there you go. The If you're wondering who's going to start at quarterback for the Green Wave, there you go. There's your answer. Phil Mariandi says, the sky is falling. Good morning, y'all. Sav says he's a little shocked about the Deshaun news after his press conference blasting fan base. I'm not. Okay. Here's the thing. Is Deshaun Watson a nice, wholesome individual? You can answer that question. I don't want to get in any trouble here. But here's the thing. You can dislike Deshaun Watson, and you can be the biggest Shedeur Sanders fan on planet Earth. Deshaun Watson is significantly better than Shedeur Sanders. Period. Amen. That's the end. Moving on. You could see me teaching at Shaw? Yeah, well, I don't know if Shaw could see me teaching at Shaw. Heath says, it's me teaching is as scary as him teaching 25 years ago. Chad says, as scary as he is a retired educator of 25 years. Hey, man. Have yourself some coffee out of a Little Mermaid cup. Bill says, good morning. He can't believe he sat through all of that game. Don't cut Kendra Miller or Maliki. Maliki's hurt, by the way. Or the rest of them, he doesn't care. Well, they're not going to cut Kendra Miller. Maliki's got a knee injury. Is he going to end up on IR? And what happens to what did Zach and I bet? I don't even remember exactly. I think we bet the four tight ends, right? I think I would win by default. Because if they don't keep Maliki, if Maliki goes on IR, that he doesn't count, right? I win. I'm just saying. We'll get to that. Barry Ulay says he realized it preseason, but damn, that was sad from beginning to end. It was sad. It was pretty bad. And absolutely correct, Josh. The Voice. 1996 was the same. And I almost put it on here. Made his famous diddly poo rant. I got it somewhere. Do I still? Let me hold on real quick. I think I took it out. No, I don't have it in here anymore. I used to keep it in here in case I wanted to just show it. But I took it out. I don't have it anymore. I may have to put that back in here for whenever I just feel like using it. We didn't try to run the ball. We stunk. Whatever it was. We were coaching, stunk, whatever he said. I don't know. You know what he said. I'm telling you, I'm going to have to put that back in to be able to show it. The most tone deaf press conference ever. It was awesome, dude. That was one of my, that's got to be up there. One of the greatest. I think crown them is probably a little bit better. If you want to crown their asses, crown them. That's better. But Jim Mora's, diddly poo. Come on, man. That's got to be in the top 5. Oh, you mean Deshaun? Yeah, Deshaun's an idiot. T-Mama. Oh, I didn't say that out loud, did I? Sorry. Good morning. Glad you're here. Adam wants to know, am I concerned about the coaching staff? It's preseason. Kellen looked like a deer in the headlights. It's preseason. He doesn't get fired up or anything either. It's preseason. Where's the passion? We talked about this last year. The answer is, Adam, I've said this a bunch of times. If you look at where Kellen Moore started last year, and we talked about our concern level, the beginning part of the regular season, I'm not, again, it concerns me that you have 12 penalties, even in a preseason game. So, yes, that part of it concerns me. But, let's not start worrying about coaching from preseason. Now, this lingers into if it does linger in the regular season, like we say it could, then yeah, but it's way too early to talk about that. So no, my level for Kellen Moore is not high. Let's get there. Christopher Crump says he thought he would let everybody know your knee replacement 2 weeks now. Awesome, man. You're gonna be ready. You're not even starting the season on IR, Chris. You're gonna be jumping right into the starting lineup. He says he doesn't want to see the Saints do better. No question. This is not that's not the font. Papyrus? Is it papyrus or papyrus? Papyrus or papyrus? Papyrus? Papyrus. Gabe's helping me learn how to pronounce. Not like You know how many things I pronounce wrong? He's helping me. Anyway, that is not. It is, it starts with a V. The font, the new font. I can't remember exactly what it is. And the title slot font there at the bottom, which I'm also going to change probably within the next week, is it's been Work Sans, which I do like, but I think I'm going to make it everything so it's uniform. It looks more football-y, right? The numbers and the letters. It's kind of like and I hate to say this, but it's almost like the Eagles font, which I happen to like. It's not exactly that. It's kind of a hybrid between the Eagles and the Jaguars font. If you put those two together, and I like it. So anyway, that's it. It just felt more like football to me. That's why I changed it. Earl's Picks, you better get that email address. You better get in that league, Earl. You're going to get shut out. You didn't accept your invitation. Good morning. It's Overreaction Monday for Saints fans. It is kind of. It is kind of Overreaction Monday. And I'm way behind. I got to start catching up here. Hart kicker debate is bigger than QB2. I don't know if I care about the kicker debate right now. I don't know. You know? I know, and goes back. Ahmed says Kennery looked good, but he always looked good when he actually played. I know. Zeb Z Square Zimmerman. I don't remember you being here before. If you're new to the show, if you have commented before, I apologize for not remembering. But welcome to the show. He says, you're only as good as your first string, and your first string hasn't played yet. True. Plus 3 joint practices in a week. You get the first time Kellen Moore might be trying different techniques to see. Hey, absolutely. That's absolutely true. I mean, you don't know. I mean, you think you know, but you really don't know, speaking of Jim Mora, and you never will. I mean, very well could be true. You don't know what he's throwing out there. There might be a reason again, I guess what bothers me is, and I go back to my answers, it's preseason chill, so I agree with what the Z-Man just said. However, you do have to worry about some things, and QB2 is definitely concerned, but I think I'm probably more concerned about this. Is there just no lack of depth? Is there just no depth on defense? Because it doesn't seem like it. And I get it. Okay, 34-0, and one of them is a pick six. So take the pick six out. That would still be 27-0. Forget about the nothing if you want. 27 points your defense gave up. I mean, come on, man. Stetson Bennett looked like Matthew Stafford. I mean, look at those numbers on the screen if you could see the screen. If you can't, the stats are there. 19-31 for 181 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Stetson Bennett looked like a stud. Stetson Bennett is not a stud. Aaron Michael 318. Good morning. We're glad you're here. Oh, yeah, I forgot to talk about the trade. Thank you for reminding me to show you how unimportant it is. Deion Jones last night came out late last night. If you didn't see this, not really breaking news. I can't do the do thing. Deion Jones for Zamir White. Oh, and in case you didn't know, Deion Jones was on the Saints, is going to the 49ers for Zamir White. I saw one person typing on social media, a 49ers fan, say, this is how I found out Zamir White was on the 49ers. He got traded. Whole lot of nothing for those members, for the paid members. We talked about it on the chat last night. The whole lot of nothing. I mean, Zamir White coming in, there could be multiple reasons. I don't think we know how hurt Devin Neal is. Is he going to be ready for the regular season? We don't know. To back up, you don't know if C.J. Donaldson is good enough to make this team, even though I think there should be a place. Doesn't mean the Saints feel that way. And then you're always concerned about a Kendra Miller. So anyway, Zamir White, will he make this football team? I have no idea. Troy Chatelaine, can we bring Taysom back as a backup quarterback? Makes sense to him. Troy, no. The answer is no. I mean, I don't. Zach Wilson and Spencer Rattler both. You just pray that they don't have to go to him. But Taysom Hill's. I mean, he's 36 with no knees. So no. I mean, I hear you. I get the love, but no. Bryant says backup quarterback matters. If either guy has to play, they're in deep doo-doo. No question. Time to give Jimmy G a call. Where is he? Where's UBN? Is he still watching? Time to call Jimmy G. Sean says the game made you feel like QB2 isn't on this team. I think it's kind of late to say that. I mean, I think QB2 is on this team. I think it's going to be the Rat. I mean, look, I'm going to say the same thing I said last year about Rat versus Shuck for QB1. If I don't know what I think. I don't even care. I don't know what I think. I'll make a prediction later. But here's the thing. After this coming week, when you have to make your cuts, if it comes down, well, it is going to come down to, it's not going to be Hunter Deckers. He's not even playing in preseason. If it's Zach Wilson versus Spencer Rattler, and there's a 98% chance that QB2 is Zach Wilson versus Spencer Rattler, Zach Wilson has to be head and shoulders better than Spencer Rattler to win the job. Or pretty close. And so if they're even, or it's even sort of close, it's going to be Rattler. Right? And so right now, Rattler's winning the battle because it's more than semi-close. I would probably put it, at worst, for Spencer Rattler, it's a tie. Okay? At worst, it's a tie. If you go and look, and again, I don't want to go by numbers because numbers can be misleading. But it's always been my problem with Spencer Rattler. At least Zach Wilson will look downfield and try to go downfield. Spencer Rattler is just dump off city. Because sometimes he just looks like he's scared to go deep. I don't know. Gabe says almost the Texans fine. It is kind of close to the Texans fine. It is. I don't know. I think right now Rattler's got the lead. It's not a huge lead. But Zach Wilson really needs to have a great week of practice this week. And if he gets in the preseason game, which I'm assuming he will, from everything I hear, the starters are going to play maybe even a half this week. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know if that's true. We'll probably know, but hopefully by Thursday's show we'll have a better idea. But if that's the case, who starts next? To me, that actually makes a difference. That might give you an inkling of where the Saints are leaning, right? Where are the Saints leaning? Maybe we'll find out this weekend. I don't know. Good morning, Reginald. Glad you're here. Aaron also says he likes the interaction with the chat community and my insight. Thank you so much. That is what's different about this show. That's what we try to do. Going on. Oh, Josh, my friend Josh. He's only 22. You're talking about. Again, sometimes I forget with where we were, and I know I'm way behind. So Josh might not even be watching anymore. Talking about the transfer portal is only 22. It's fine. They make college money in college. Look, I got to be honest. I'm kind of on the fence with this stupidness. Again, I don't know how many times to say this, but college football opened themselves up to this moronic crap. I don't know what else to say. Anyway, they did. They opened themselves up to all this. Josh says Carlson has an 86% career kicking percentage. Yes, he does. And look, I don't even care. I got to be honest. At this point, his contract expired? I don't know. That still, why wouldn't they re-sign him though? Anyway, I don't even care. Daniel Carlson's fine. It is fine. Adam Varner, Winston would be a better backup, but doesn't Winston play for the Giants? Gabe? Yeah. So, okay. I mean, Patrick Mahomes would be a better backup, but he plays for the Chiefs. I don't understand what you're getting at. St. Louis Obispo, who dat? Good morning. You're looking for a lively discussion. So far, it hasn't been too lively yet. Giovanni Martinez, welcome to the show. Kicker is the worry. Giovanni, before I was kind of like dismissing the kicker thing. Maybe it is a worry. If you're bringing in Daniel Carlson, I got to say, I thought it was going to be Charlie Smith. I was dismissing bringing in Tanner, who missed the last field goal attempt there. But if Daniel Carlson's available and he's only 31 years old, Kickers could play until their late 30s. I'm all about Daniel Carlson. So maybe that's the answer. Trying to catch up a little bit here and moving forward a little bit faster. So I apologize if I go through. Sean says Devin Neal will not make the 53-man roster. Will Devin Neal? I think he's going to be on the practice squad or IR, one of the two. He's hurt right now. I don't think he's going to be. I would be surprised if Devin Neal is on the active roster for week 1. That's my opinion. There's no reason. He's not going to be picked up. If you try to put him on the practice squad, I think you're going to be fine. And that way you can call him up whenever you need to. I don't think he's going to. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Running backs in it. We're going to get into some more running back stuff in a little bit. Sean says call Teddy Two Gloves out of retire. I think Teddy Two Gloves is done. You know? Bill says he guesses Rattler was best. He put 6 points on the board. Yeah, for the other team. He got a -6. So in that respect, Zach Wilson was better because Zach Wilson had 0. Spencer Rattler had -7. Sean says Watson's playing because of the money. No, he's not. Watson's playing because he's head and shoulders better than Shedeur Sanders, and that's saying something. Because Watson ain't head and shoulders above many people. But he's better than Shedeur Sanders. Sorry. Michael on X says he wishes I was still doing a confidence pool this year. We are doing that, actually. If you were in the old, in fact, you know what? On the next show, I will tell y'all how to get into it. I can't do it today because I'm in the middle of something. I still have the old, if y'all remember, back in the old days when I used to write an NFL column, a pick'em column every week. And then when I was doing the show, I had a confidence pool, which you would pick games every week, and I never got rid of it. We have still been doing it. There are like 30 people that are in it, and they're diehards. They're from the get-go, from the beginning. I don't have any clue who these people are, but I know their names because they've been in this thing from the end, since the beginning, excuse me. So next week, I will give out an invitation. It's free to play. I do have a confidence pool, and I will give the link out on the next show on Thursday. So make sure you're here. Gabe, please remind me. If you could put that on your list to remind me before a show, remind me to get the link out for that. I will send it out to anybody that wants to get in. It's free to play. There's no money involved. I hadn't been giving out any prizes, but maybe this year we'll give out a Dat prize. We're going to give out a Dat prize for the Fantasy Football League. Good morning, Ryan O'Shea. You didn't know we had a game until you got an ESPN. I know, you're not a preseason dude. Then you didn't even watch it down because preseason is dumb. Everyone chill. Okay. I mean, I get if you don't like preseason that much and you don't want to watch, but come on. I mean, you should at least watch Saints preseason. Rob Fan Guy. Or is it Fangy or Fan Guy? Rob. He just says, if you're listening after the fact and you can't see the screen, his comment is, how? I mean, how do I drink coffee out of a Little Mermaid mug? How do I wake up at 6:30 in the morning during the week? How do I not lose weight because I've been on a diet for 2 months? How what? You got to give me a little bit more, Rob. I don't know. Where else are we going with this? Oh, Ahmed says, Coach boy, man, you're showing your age. Bobby Conlon taught you an accounting class and a typing class at Brother Martin? Me teaching English Lit at Shaw would be equally legendary. Hey, man. Coaches can teach English Lit. How about Nick Saltamaggio is an English teacher at Franklinton High School, one of my buddies. I haven't talked to him in a while. I got to call him, see what's going on. What else we got going on here? I'm trying to catch up. Steel Bill, where you been? Haven't seen you in a little bit. Who dat, baby? There, I knew he was still watching. UBN says Jimmy GQ would look great in black and khaki. And your question of, will Shuck take any preseason snaps? Again, I know I'm still behind. Oh, I'm almost caught up now. I really think the starter's going to play this week. We're going to see. Ricky Bobby, it's been a while since I've seen you around, Ricky Bobby. We need a kicker bad. Well, maybe Daniel Carlson is the answer. Ricky Bobby wants in. So, Ricky, if you want into the Fantasy Football League, or if you're talking about the confidence pool, either way, send me an email, jim@jimderry.com, and I will get you in. If you're interested, please let me know which one you're interested in. If you want the Fantasy League, then I'm going to give your email address to Gabe, and he'll get you in. He's handling that. Oh, okay. You deleted it or tried to. You fumbled on it. Well, I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna at least, how. Can you tell me what you were gonna ask? How? What? Come on, you can ask. Father Steve's here. Good morning. You remember Bum Phillips saying he would punt on every down during preseason football? Wouldn't that be cool if you made a mockery of the preseason? Bring him some holy water to SoFi next time. Somebody needs to do something. All right. A couple things I want to talk about. There he goes. There's his question. Rob wants to say, what he meant to say was, how many of these players might be on the field for Detroit? Not many. Absolutely. You're 100% correct on that. I mean, if you think about it, how many of these teams, not only on the field, I mean, how many of these teams will be on the active 53-man roster? Well, one of the quarterbacks will be. Kendrick Miller, barring injury, probably will be. At least two of the receivers probably will be. Oscar Delp didn't play, I don't think, and Maliki got hurt, so neither one of them might. Probably, I don't know. Maliki might be on IR. Are they going to keep 4 tight ends? Zach thinks they're going to. Zach Ewing thinks they're going to. I almost said Zach Wilson thinks they're going to. Zach Ewing thinks they're going to. I don't. So then you go to the defensive side of the football. Who is playing on Saturday that's going to be on the 53-man? Not a ton. I don't know. Kyle Sherman, you are 100% correct. Bobby Conlon equals 3 yards and a cloud of dust. Was good friends with one of his daughters in high school. He is intimidating. He certainly was. There you go. Here's one that'd probably be on a 53-man. Hart was a little concerned about Martin Emerson getting picked on by the second string when he's slated to get a lot of playing time. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. However, I will say there are things about Martin Emerson's game that I did like. I did like the way he played overall. He did get picked on a lot. And he got called for a holding penalty, one of the mega numbers of penalties that he had. But overall, I liked what I saw from Martin Emerson in the grand scheme of things. Again, not a guy you want to be starting, but, it is what it is. Ricky Bobby says he hopes Heldman makes it. I mean, right now, I think Heldman's got a good chance to make it. But I want to go back to the QB2 thing. I don't think we talked about it enough here. We're getting a little long in the tooth on the show. If there's anything else you want to talk about, I'm going to bring the poll back up in just a minute. But Gabe's going to come on in just a minute as well. But QB2 numbers, do you take anything out of these numbers, or is it just the eye test? To me, you know what I think. Eye test. And the eye test told me on Saturday, game number 1, Zach Wilson was clearly better than Spencer Rattler. Game number 2, Spencer Rattler was better than Zach Wilson. You can't take out the pick 6 because that was an absolutely atrocious pass. But Spencer Rattler's safeness made him look better than Zach Wilson on Saturday. And John Stinchcomb said it often, if you were listening as well. One thing that bothered me about Saturday is Zach Wilson didn't seem to let it loose like he was letting it loose in the first preseason game. He looked like, oh my goodness, I actually have a chance to be QB2. And then he closed up and played scared. You can't play like that. You have to play like you have nothing to lose. And Zach Wilson was not playing like he had nothing to lose. Zach Wilson played the opposite of the way he played in the first week, which goes back to giving Spencer Rattler, to me, looked the same as he looked in week 1. He's still, come on, man. One thing that really bothers me more than anything about Spencer Rattler is not just, he holds onto the ball way too long, which is one of the, did you watch, and not to jump around too much, but did you watch any of the Browns-Bills preseason game? A lot. Most of you didn't, I know. And the only reason why I did is I think I was waiting for the Saints game to come on, and I was just sitting around. There was nothing else to do. and I turned it on. Do you see how long Shedeur Sanders holds on to the football? Which is why he gets sacked so damn much, is why he can't be an NFL quarterback. You haven't changed it yet. And to me, that's part of Spencer Rattler's problem. Spencer Rattler holds on to the football too much, and then he just kind of panics and dumps it. I mean, you look at 14 to 23. That's not terrible. 141 yards, fine. I mean, that's 10 yards of completion. Great. But you can't hold on to the football that long, and to me, he was better running out of the pocket. But, again, he continues to show to me why he's not an NFL quarterback. Jeremiah Wright doing his best Trevor Penning impression. The difference, Hart, is Jeremiah Wright is a 4th-round pick. Or right, I think he was a 4th-round pick. Or a 5th-round pick. Whatever he was, not in the top 3 rounds. And Trevor Penning was a 1st-round pick. So if Jeremiah Wright ends up on the practice squad, it's okay. You're not counting on Jeremiah Wright. You know? Sean talking about the Falcons. Penix has been cleared for full participation in practice. Will he jump in 2 in less than 2 weeks? No. Tua Tagovailoa is the quarterback of the Falcons, barring injury. Lance, you missed it earlier. We brought up your dude, man. Where you been? We talked about Daniel Carlson. You know who Daniel Carlson was teammates with? Just saying. Come on, man. Where you been? USA Drone Flyer. Good morning. We got some newbies this morning. This 2 weeks in a row. If you haven't subscribed yet, USA Drone Flyer, please do. Oh, you mean he was trying to? Oh, yeah, he did. He did throw a helmet in practice, didn't he? And then he got the penalty. He got the penalty in the game for illegal contact that I had. Maybe just trying to show everybody that you know what? He is wearing, doesn't he wear 68? Isn't he wearing Turley's number? I think he's wearing Turley's number. I think. Chad wants to know between Gabe. I mean, I'm going to answer for Gabe. Gabe is 100%. Oh, Rattler, between Rattler or Sanders is a backup? Oh, okay. I thought you were going to add, I jumped the gun. Rattler or Wilson. Oh, then I won't answer for Gabe. I'll let him answer when he comes on in a minute. I'm guessing would say Rattler, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. But if I had to pick between, he would choose Rattler 100 times out of 100. Okay. Well, so would I. I mean, there's a 0.9% chance that Spencer Rattler will one day become an NFL starter. There's a 0.0% chance that Shedeur Sanders will be an NFL starter, barring injury. I'm not saying if Deshaun Watson gets hurt in game 1 and Shedeur Sanders starts for 10 weeks because they don't have a choice, that doesn't count. I'm talking about potential starting quarterback for like this is our guy. He's our starting quarterback. No, 0.0. You know how you used to play football in the street? And it was quarterback, the rules, the rusher, it was 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and you'd rush. If Shedeur Sanders played 3 Mississippi and you were sacked, he'd get sacked like 18 times a game. I'm looking. No, you can't do that. Rattler's better than that. So 100 times out of 100, I'm taking Spencer Rattler. 101 times out of 100. Lance was tied up in meetings. I'm telling you, you need to go check it out. You need to go check. I'm just saying. Oh, it's Joe Trombator. All right. Glad you're here, Joe. I couldn't see your picture. My eyes are not good enough to see that little picture. Phil, I guess I should bring Gabe on. You know what? Hang on. We might as well bring him on. It's getting to that point. Gabe, you ready? I hope you're ready. You ready?
I'm perpetually ready.
I know you are. So I'll just show this question. Ask Gabe what is going on with the Astros and Texans. Some obvious issues. Fired the Astros GM this morning, and Stroud is looking for a big salary.
Dana Brown was going to be gone at the end of the season anyway, so that really doesn't matter. And the report that Stroud was looking for a massive salary was fabricated. That was not a real report.
You want answers? So. We give you answers. You say you bet Shedeur is starting by week 4. Why?
Because So the reports are the reason that Deshaun is the starter right now is because Cleveland wants to give Deshaun 2 weeks away from their fans. Their first 2 games are on the road, away from their fans to see if he can do anything. And I just don't think he can.
Here's the report. Shedeur Sanders is not an NFL quarterback, and at least Deshaun Watson is some semblance of an NFL quarterback.
No. He's what used to
Look,
be.
I get it. You hate him. You hate Zach Wilson. You hate lots of people.
Oh,
Whatever.
no, Jim, you watched the Browns. You watched the Browns-Bills game. You said it yourself. Deshaun is horrendous.
And he's better
Genuinely.
than Shedeur Sanders. I'm just saying.
They're 2 turds from the same butt.
How
both
bad is
really bad?
How bad is Love's injury?
Which Love?
Is he mean? Which Love are you talking about? The Packers quarterback?
Jordan Love? I don't think Jordan Love's injured.
Chad wants
this just shows the
where is
incompetence.
this Dylan quarterback for the draft? He sucks too.
Do you know how bad you have to be a
Dylan
quarterback
Gabriel
drafted in the third round?
Worse than those 2 dudes. That's
in one
exactly
of the worst quarterback competitions I've ever seen, and not even be mentioned. I will say I want to shout out.
Bill says he's glad that Shedeur Sanders circus didn't come to town. Yeah. At least with Spencer Rattler, he was just a 5th-round pick. That's not really a circus. He was a 5th-round pick. If he works, great. If he doesn't work out, who cares?
Well, did you hear one of the members of the Shedeur Sanders contingent try to punch a local media member at the airport this weekend?
No. What? What?
There is a member of the Browns local media who has been rightly criticizing Shedeur Sanders. And a Shedeur fan went to the airport to try to find him and punch him.
Yeah, man, they don't play. I don't get it. The Shedeur Sanders are like the original Spencer Rattler fans on steroids. I mean, it is insane. I don't get it. I don't understand the love for Shedeur Sanders at all. And look, even when he got to play last year, when he was terrible, the Shedeur Sanders lovers found reasons to blame everyone else but the guy who was throwing the picks and held on to the football for 8 seconds. Yeah, don't get me started on that shit. Please. By the way,
I want to shout out
Jeremiah Love, by the way.
Okay, I don't know how bad his injury is. I don't know if he's even going to be the starting running back for them anyway. Anyway, I want to shout out a guy named Mike Beauvais, who I just saw tweet this. After the Deshaun Watson announcement, he tweeted, "Does Deshaun Watson deserve to be QB1? No. But does Deshaun Watson give the Cleveland Browns a better chance to win? Also no. But does naming Deshaun Watson QB1 make the fans happy and earn their trust? Once again, emphatically no. Other than that, great move."
I'm sorry. If they don't, and we can disagree all day long, doesn't make a difference. Deshaun Watson, not that they have that much better of a chance to win anyway, but Deshaun Watson is better than Shedeur Sanders. Sorry, he is. Shedeur Sanders doesn't throw the football. He holds onto the football.
Terrible.
They're not equally terrible.
Throwing it into the ground, which Deshaun does.
At least he throws it. At least you're not going to go backwards. Shedeur Sanders is going to get sacked 8 times a game.
Right. So is Deshaun.
No, he's not. He's just going to throw it incomplete passes. At least you don't move backwards.
Interceptions.
Okay. I guarantee you if they played exactly the same amount of time, at worst, they would have the same amount of interceptions. At worst.
That's been my favorite thing
there's a perception there's a perception. That's the good word. Perception that Sanders is not being treated fairly. The thing is this.
They're both awful.
Here's the deal, though. The Shedeur Sanders lovers are never going to ever believe that he's being treated fairly unless he gets the chance to start all 17 games. Otherwise, because they're not biased at all, they will not believe at all one iota. Here we go with iota again. They won't believe, and you still never told me how big of an iota is. You should have at least looked this up in Merriam-Webster.
I'll look it up right now.
There you go. But they still don't believe it. They just won't believe that he can stink all day long. And again, it would still be somebody's if you started Deshaun Watson in week 1 and then Sanders the rest of the year, they'll say, see, you should have started Shedeur in week 1 so we could be 1-17 and 1-16.
So here's the thing. the biggest difference between
And yes, I'm hating on Shedeur Sanders because he sucks. Ray Sonny sucks. That's why I'm hating on him. He's terrible.
The biggest difference between Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson is not anything on the field. The biggest difference is that Shedeur Sanders is not actively calling out his team's fan base.
Oh, that's the whole different story. You didn't tell me who was the bigger douchebag. I mean, you didn't ask me who the bigger douchebag is. There's no debate on who that is. I mean, there's no question Deshaun Watson's a bigger douchebag. I mean, that,
You saw his quotes from this weekend, right?
No, I didn't read his exact quotes, but I've been reading social media about what he said.
Oh my God.
I passed over that crap, Gabe.
It's bad.
I don't even know why we're talking about this. I got pulled into the rabbit hole.
So I've
says,
got an
by the
answer
way, his prediction is, and I disagree with this, by the way.
So do I.
I've already told you that Gabe and I both have the over in Cleveland, and you know why? Because Vegas doesn't lose often, and Vegas thinks Cleveland will win. The over under is 5.5, and everybody and their grandma is betting on Cleveland under. Telling you, there's a reason. There's a reason, and maybe they'll go find themselves another quarterback that's not either one of those guys. It's possible. Maybe Todd Monken says, you know what?
Todd Monken.
If you've seen both of these ass clowns,
if you've seen his press conferences, he's so fed up with this decision.
He really is.
You reap what you sow. He took the job.
I agree.
But my God, he's so over it.
Yeah.
I've got an answer for you verbatim from Google. I Googled how big is an iota. Verbatim, it says an iota is not a physical object with a fixed size, but rather the 9th letter of the Greek alphabet, which we knew. Because it is the smallest letter. Because it's the smallest letter in the alphabet, though, the word means a very tiny amount or tiny bit. So there you go. That is verbatim from Google, which we knew it was a tiny amount, but
who knew that we'd be speaking Greek on this show? No one knew that. It's all Greek to me. Well, that's what you get on the mowers in Greek. Kind of put it all together. You never know what you're going to get. Mike says, Mike, welcome to the show, by the way. Rattler and Sanders are training camp quarterback third stringers. I mean, they're third stringers.
Not QB3 people. I've been telling you.
I don't know. I don't know if you're right or not. We're going to find out. I still don't know if you're right. I think it's,
Once again, I said this in the Slack channel. Saints fans, be grateful that this is happening with your QB2 position.
Yeah.
It could always be worse.
Ahmed, you're right. Remember when the Saints tried to get Deshaun Watson? Just think if they gave up all those multiple millions of dollars before settling.
And 3 first-round picks, by the way.
Ricky said, come on. Now, let's don't hate. I've never been to Cleveland.
I've been. It's not as bad as people say.
Okay. It's not.
Really
I doubt it. It's the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It can't be that bad, right?
It's not all that bad. It really isn't. People just love to hate it because it's in Ohio.
All right.
It's been worse.
Your bright spots. Okay. Did you watch the Saints game, first off?
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay. A little bit.
And I will say, I will defend Spencer Rattler on a lot of things. I burst out laughing at that interception because that is one of the worst passes I've ever seen.
So bad, dude.
Dude, it's so funny when he threw that pick.
Game, he didn't play
and then
that bad.
Then you see the 4 white jerseys that were in coverage sprint to go the other way. And so I sent it to my friends. My friends weren't watching it, and I said, "Guys, you need to see this immediately." And they're like, "Where was he going with that ball?"
I don't know, man. It was so bad. It was so. I don't know how I got. That's not the slide that I passed over. I did the new style. Anyway, nobody knows what I'm talking about. I don't know where he was throwing, but the whole point of that just goes to show. I mean, I'm not trying to. I know it sounds bad to say this because NFL, even Drew Brees made the dumbest mistakes on planet once a season or twice a season or whatever. You'd be like, what the hell was that? And you forget about it. And so he was Drew Brees, so you don't remember when he does it. I'm sure Tyler Shuck will do the same thing. But when you see something like that, even in the preseason, and that kid's running down the field for 100 and whatever yard, pick 6, I'm thinking, how does an NFL player make a pass that bad? I mean, seriously, how does an NFL player, and Spencer Rattler's an NFL player, how does an NFL player make a pass?
I will say, I want to commend
bad.
I don't remember the kid's name, but there's like a 6th string tight end who was on the field during that play.
Hold on real quick.
And
hold on real quick. We bring receipts on the show. Charles Magus, don't forget the Miller fumble on the 1 or 2 yard line. That wasn't Miller.
It's not.
That was not Miller. That was the Ty Chandler. So don't spout.
I will say so.
You spout shit that isn't true on the show. I'm just saying.
This leads into an interesting. Mitch, that's funny. I didn't see you said that.
Yeah, I was going to call it up. We got it.
Yeah.
Rattler said that Mitch Bergeron says Rattler said. Did he really say that? I didn't see that.
Which
Rattler
one? Which one of the four made a
defender
great play?
He can't make. The defender made a great play. Go back and watch that.
One of the four.
He didn't make a great play. Rattler threw it right to the guy. There was no one else there. He threw it into triple coverage.
No, quadruple coverage, Jim. It was worse. It was quadruple coverage.
And the Saints receiver was behind at least 3 Rams defenders. He threw it right to the ram. He didn't really say that, did he? My goodness. God. By the way, Charles, I always read your comments. I read every single comment. There are so many now, I can't possibly show them all. I read every single comment. I'm not trying to diss on anyone, but I just want everybody to know I read every single comment. I used to be able to show every single one of them, and now I can only show like half of them. I apologize. So anyway, go ahead.
So first, I want to shout out that 6th string tight end who I don't remember his name. Forgive me. He's not going to make the team. Hauled ass down the field on that pick 6.
Oh yeah, he did, and I don't know who that was either.
Hauled ass.
He really did. He really did.
Really impressive.
That's how you at least make a practice squad or something.
100%. Yeah, my friends, when I sent them that video, they're like, "Oh my god, this guy's he might make the roster with that kind of hustle." And I was like, "I promise you, there are too many tight ends in front of him to make the roster." But I did have an interesting.
And that goes. Silver Gator says on the opposite end of the spectrum, Rattler's tackle effort was as bad as the interception. Yeah, that's true. Josh says it was quadruple. He was with you. It was quadruple coverage, and the check down was wide open. I saw 3 Rams, but y'all both saw 4, so I guess there were 4. But it was literally right to the Ram guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it was. Hold on, I'm looking to.
And while you're looking up, a couple comments about Cleveland.
It was Trayton Welch.
Hart said Drew Carey once said Cleveland rocks. I've never been. Kyle says Cleveland's a really nice city. It's not the same as the 70s when the river caught on fire.
There's things to do.
I've been to Cincinnati multiple times. I've never been to
Cincinnati's fun too.
Musette says Cleveland was not bad. Some houses actually reminded her of New Orleans shotgun houses. Okay. I like Cincinnati. Again, I know it's completely different. It's always on the other side.
I like the drive into Cincinnati
7
from
and 10 at
Kentucky.
best.
When you go down the mountain and I
actually stayed
view of Cincinnati over the river. It's really cool.
All 3 times I've been to Cincinnati, I've stayed in Covington, Kentucky, which is on the other side of the river.
Yep, I've stayed there as well.
Company I used to work for was based out of Cincinnati, and then I've been there for work now a couple of times as well. All right, see UBN. I don't read all of UBNs aloud, but I read all of them. Anyway,
so I've got an interesting question, and this popped into my head when you were talking about how Zach Wilson kind of looked the opposite of how he looked last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you really look at Spencer Rattler's first half performance last week and Zach Wilson's first half performance this week, they're pretty similar in many regards.
Very similar.
And at what point does it become the play calling early on is just way too safe?
I mean, I
said
this
multiple
earlier.
Guys.
I said that it's so vanilla. If you're looking for cookies and cream, you're looking for chocolate chip cookie dough, you're looking for, whatever, strawberry swirl, cookie monster, whatever you're looking for, you're not getting it. You're getting vanilla. Yeah. And you're not only you're not even getting Bluebell vanilla, the vanilla bean. You're getting like K&B generic vanilla that costs you $1.98. Because they're just not going to show you anything that they're going to show in the regular season. So, but my thing is when quarterbacks
that's been a thing
quarterbacks make something out of nothing sometimes, and I do like that both quarterbacks were able to like get out of the pocket and move. But you look at the numbers, and I'm going to show this slide, and I know it's going to be over your face for a second, and I apologize again. I had one without the.
Don't apologize.
You look at the numbers.
To viewers.
Stetson Bennett, 19 to 31 for 181 yards. They made Stetson Bennett look good is kind of the point. So, when you're talking about, I guess that's the problem I have is you can have a vanilla offense, but
I agree. Hart.
Decent quarterbacks. Hart is a fan of vanilla flavor. You hate that vanilla is synonymous with blah. I'm a huge vanilla guy.
Oh my.
And half the reason why I'm as fat as I am is because I can't stop eating ice cream in the summer. Even when I'm on a diet, I still eat it once a week. I don't care. So I'm a big vanilla guy too, but there's a difference between K&B vanilla and Bluebell vanilla. I'm just saying, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Look, quarterbacks
it's just interesting. It's an
quarterbacks
interesting
make
discussion.
something happen. And if you put Tyler Shuck in the same scenario, in my opinion, he would make something happen even on vanilla,
I don't think they would give him an opportunity to make something happen. I think they would say, hey, here, hand the ball off 3 times and get off the field because we can't have you get injured at all.
Right. No, exactly.
But I get what you're saying, and I agree. But it's just, the Saints are weird in preseason because they were this way last year as well when there was a quarterback competition. Both quarterbacks kind of had those underwhelming numbers, and it's just really, as you said, they're not going to show their hand at all, and that's just a weird thing to me. Yeah, I get not wanting to do that, but that doesn't mean you have to be the most cookie cutter offense ever.
A couple things real quick. Probably most of them semi off topic, but Ray Sun says his favorite store as a kid was K&B. Well, guess what? My grandfather worked for Katz and Bestoff for 47 years. He retired the year I was born. In fact, he retired, I think, a month after I was born in 1968. That's how long he worked for him. So do the math. He worked for him for 47 years and retired in 1968. Silver Gator says about Cleveland, lots of ethnic neighborhoods and restaurants and stores in Cleveland. Then I would love it because that's one of the reasons that's one of the things I absolutely love about Chicago. In fact, the area that I stay in Chicago, it has about, I'm not exaggerating when I say it's about 12 different kinds of restaurants in the matter of like 5 blocks. You could stay there for 2 weeks and within walking distance have all these different kinds of restaurants. Don't get me started.
Chicago's one of my favorite cities.
Chicago is my second favorite city. Yeah. It's my second favorite city. And if you can't figure out number 1, then you probably haven't been watching the show long enough. Cats and Best of, that's right. Ain't there no more. It ain't there no more. No, it ain't. That's a sad.
So, I will say another takeaway was, and a lot of people are.
By the way, Bill's purple. By the way, if you wonder what K&B purple is, if you're not from New Orleans, it's kind of like Bill's the purple and Bill's B there. If you watching the screen, if you're not watching, well, and you don't know what K&B purple is, anyway. Touche. All right.
So I will say one of my other takeaways is, a lot of people are reactionary. A lot, we had comments earlier saying, look, Kellen Moore just doesn't get fired up enough. Like, whatever. It's a preseason game. I don't want him to get fired up.
I will say this. I don't know how much you watched, but he was getting pretty pissed.
I did see that. Yeah, he was getting on people's heads.
And that was probably his. And he a couple of times he turned to a couple of his coaches. I wouldn't say he necessarily yelled at him, but you could tell he was not happy. He's like, basically, what the flippity flip was that? And so there were definitely some things that I'm not going to say what he was saying, but he was.
Yeah, but I will
say
there were. I noted it earlier. There were a lot of procedural penalties, and that's what I would worry about.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I would worry about going into the season. Because if you want to be a contending team, those are things that absolutely kill you.
You know what I wouldn't worry about, Gabe? There's definitely one thing I wouldn't worry about. I wouldn't worry about Evangeline Securities because they can help you figure out what your family run or privately held business might be worth and whether it's time to sell. And I know you're asking, how do they do it? Well, thank you for asking. The answer is, after their complimentary valuation of your company, if you decide to proceed, native New Orleanian Nick Braden and the folks at Evangeline, they'll begin an extensive auction process from, established private equity funds from, around the whole wide world. They'll maximize the return for the founder and his or her family. Evangeline Securities, they're the top producer on their platform. Very few companies like them in this area, and 0.0 with their dedication and success. They're fully licensed. They're ready to serve you. So get in touch with Nick Braden about what's really important. And you know what? Trying to guess between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, not really important. Tell them what's really important, Gabe.
The rest of your life.
And everyone else's life, for that matter. You can find them at www.evangelinesecurities.com.
So, on the point that I was just making while we were doing that ad read, I looked at
Cheshire Cat.
Interesting. I looked at some interesting stats from last year. Do you know where the Saints were in pre-snap penalties last season in the NFL?
Middle of the pack?
No, they were fourth. They had the fourth most pre-snap penalties in the league last year. Fourth most. The only teams with more were the New York Giants, the Chicago Bears, and the Tennessee Titans. Two of those teams fired their coach.
I was going to say, two of those teams.
One made the playoffs.
Wait, the Giants, the Bears, and the Titans?
Yeah.
Two of those had new coaches too, right?
No, two of them have new coaches this season.
Yeah, but two of them had new. Didn't the Titans have a new coach last year? They had a new coach last year.
Brian, it was Callahan, and then he got fired.
Right, but he was a new coach. My point is,
no, he'd been there for a few years.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Was he the head coach for 3 years? For more than 1 year?
Yeah,
he was. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the head coach for a year and a half, 2 years. I think he was maybe third season. I don't remember. But they were. I mean, he was a first-time coach, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah. So anyway,
he was a first-time head coach, but it wasn't his first season as a head coach. Yeah. But and I will say the thing about Chicago in there, Chicago's kind of an outlier because Ben Johnson runs a lot of motion, pre-snap motion. Yeah. So when you do that, you are going to naturally have a lot of penalties.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
So I just thought that was an interesting stat. And then penalties against. Let's see where the Saints were. They were.
I'm just saying. I think that's something that you will see. That's something you will see get better as we go forward. I don't think there's any doubt that is the case.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, if you look at last year, you had the pre-snap penalties. I didn't know they were that bad. Yeah, there you go, Hart. Coach previous all right, too. Yeah, I mean, he was so bad I didn't even realize that it was coach that long. Hart and Saint says that Kellen Moore just isn't a huge and he meant personality guy. Seems very intentional though. I mean, it kind of is. I mean, that is his MO. He's just not out there. He's not going to run around yelling at people. I mean, I hate to say it. He has the same kind of temperament almost as another former Saints coach who wasn't very successful, and that does worry me. And although. I mean, if you can't tell by now, I am kind of a fiery guy. If I were on the sideline of a coach, I like coaches that show emotion. I like Sean Payton. You got the wrong kind of cleats on. Get the hell out of here. You know, to me, I like that. I mean, to me, I know there's different ways to gain respect from your players and all that. And so the jury's still out. But we don't know how things are being handled in the background. So far, everything I could tell is the players really like Kellen Moore, and they do respect the way that he's going about things in the background. People necessarily didn't respect the former coach, I'm not going to even mention his name, who maybe didn't have the same – he had a similar temperament, but he didn't treat things the same way. So, I don't know. We don't know how things are getting treated in the background, I guess is my point. Lance, come on. He's a better coach.
Reminds him of Zach Taylor sucks, dude.
Zach Taylor's horrible.
I mean, you imagine how good the Bengals could be if Zach Taylor was good.
I can't imagine that all the 3 AFC North teams fired their coaches last year, and the Bengals were not one of them.
Calvin, if you're late, sign a kicker today. Yes, we talked about it a little while ago. Breaking news. It is Daniel Carlson, who was the former kicker of the Las Vegas Raiders and who's been a very good NFL kicker. So maybe Kellen Moore says, you know what? I'm sick of this kicker battle. I'm just going to bring in someone with experience. Wouldn't surprise me at all. They had one of those guys, though. They got rid of Will Lutz. They should have kept him in the beginning.
What is
Joe DeStefano? What's going on this morning? Says it's passion. I mean, and to me, that's part of it. I'm not going to get on Kellen Moore. Again, it's his style. You have to respect certain players' style, and if the players are good with it, we don't know what's going on inside that building. But I am certainly a passion guy. I guess you can be passionate without being an a-hole, I guess is the right way to put it. I guess. You know, I don't know.
At what point do you almost look at the Saints special teams coaching staff, though, with Bill Galliano?
Now.
I mean, because now he's in his second year of being the special teams coordinator. And you've already shifted punters.
Special teams penalties. There have been
it's special teams penalties. You've already shifted punters. You're a round.
Well, they got a
revolving door of punters, kickers for a second straight.
They wouldn't paid money to get a punter, so I mean,
no, for sure.
But
I mean, Kroger was a rookie, and they basically just gave up on his development from the jump.
Phil Galliano has not been good. Let's see. Lance says he didn't like the field goal attempt. Understand getting the work in, but a field goal just to break a shut out of his chicken spit to you. I don't have a problem with it.
I think it is the right decision.
I don't have a problem. I mean, it's 34-0. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's the last play of the
game. It's a preseason game. Who cares?
Even if it was a regular season game, it's a chance to get in and practice and get the zero off the board. I'm all
there's
about,
a chance.
If you can break a zero, do it. I'm okay
there's a
with
chance that Daniel Carlson would not have been signed today if the Saints didn't attempt that kick.
No, that's true.
You've got a kicking competition.
Silver Gator says, did I see Kellen Moore smiling after the kicker missed the last field goal attempt? No, but he probably did it in mock. I mean, he was probably being facetious if he did.
That's one of those smile through the pain type things.
Jesus Christ.
Like everything has gone wrong today.
You got to be effing kidding me kind of thing. Yeah. All right, exactly final thoughts here this morning as we kind of wrap it up.
Final thoughts. Please don't look into preseason game 3 and overreact as much as games 1 and games 2 because preseason does not matter. And we've been telling people that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right, Charles. Ashton Genty, Jeremiah Love, both banged up. So, again, we told you this the other day. I mean, injuries galore. It is what it is. I mean, there are injuries in preseason. And it's what, if you didn't see my short talking about, and it was focused on Jordan Tyson, but it's not just about Jordan Tyson. In the grand scheme of things, it's about every single it came out of us talking last week. It was like a 12 to 14-minute conversation, so I can't go back and do a short that's 12 minutes long. But the point is that, we worry about injuries, and we didn't talk a whole lot about it today. But, I mean, now Maliki Mataval is injured, the guy who had a chance to make this team. And I think he was looking pretty good in the first quarter, and then he bangs his knee on something. It looked almost like he banged knees with someone, so I don't know how hurt he is. But if you have a chance to if you're on the fence with someone, this might just give the Saints the chance they want to put him on IR and save him. So, and by the way, Phil, Iota is not a small town. Maybe it is, but I know. Are you talking about Iowa? I know Iowa is Iota a town as well. I don't know. Look that up, Gabe. Probably. Is there an Iota, Louisiana? I know there's an Iowa, Louisiana. It's spelled IOWA.
There is an Iota, Louisiana. It's in Acadia Parish.
Wow. And I think
population
Iowa
of 1,250 to 1,300.
That's why I didn't know it. I probably drove past it many times and didn't even realize. Anyway, let's see. Before I go here, Detroit once went 4-0 in the preseason, then went 0-16 in the regular season. Yeah. However, I will say this: I'm way more concerned about a team that, let's say, how do I put this politely? When you're playing 2s and 3s against 2s and 3s and they're equal, it definitely bothers me more. And again, it's what level of vanilla are you showing? And the answer is the Saints aren't showing any. But
I
guess the one thing that and let's put up the poll question because we never closed it.
I was just going to say, I actually had a thought on this that I did want to share.
Okay, go ahead. You can put it over there.
Right there. Okay,
that's fine. Yeah, put it.
My answer would be somewhere between 2 and 3.
And we're talking about question. Last chance to vote if you haven't already. You can vote now. We're going to close it in probably 60 seconds. What is your level of concern from the poor play on Saturday versus the Rams? Type in the number 1 if your answer is it's preseason, dude. Just chill. Type in the number 2 if your answer is the only thing that worries me about is this QB2 crap because Zach Wilson and Spencer Rattler both stink. Type in the number 3 is look, I have some worry because the defense stunk too. Or type in the number 4 if your answer is, it's alarm time. Sound the bells. Sound the whistles. I'm going to have a drink with Uncle Big Nick. The starters should play, damn it. Okay, that's where we are.
I would say I've seen a lot of people saying that Tyler Shuck should play.
By the way, Chad says the Iota Bulldogs. Sorry, I didn't. It's between Crowley and Jennings. And past Lafayette, the greatest city in Louisiana. Okay, Chad. I don't know why I didn't know that. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Joe, if you're going to vote, you can only vote for one. If you do 2 and 3, it's not going to register. If you want it to register, you have to pick one. If you want it to register.
I will say that there should be some worry, but it's not a panic. And the quarterback is also far from the only thing that you should worry about. I would say if we're talking things to worry about, obviously quarterback 2, but quarterback 2 is a worry for almost every team in the league. There's such a significant drop between starter and backup. the pre-snap penalties and just the procedural penalties in total, and then the lack of defensive depth is the real thing.
The lack of defensive depth is
the defense
something to worry
the
about.
defense was one of the better defenses in the NFL last year when they were healthy.
Absolutely better.
But they do lack serious depth, especially if there's an injury in, let's say, the secondary.
By the way,
said that for months.
Remind me when we get off the show. I think I got a way to do this poll a little bit differently, but remind me of that. Anyway, we're going to stop the voting and give you the final results. And here are the final results. The question: what is your level of concern for the poor play on Saturday versus the Rams? Winning the poll is no answer got a majority. It's the first time in a while I think no one got a majority. The answer is 43% said it's preseason. Chill. 39% said the only thing that worries me is QB2. 14%, two of the three people that voted for number 4 hate the Saints. So take that for what it's worth. Alarm time. The starter should play. 14%. And then 4% said, there's worry. The defense stinks too. There's your answer to today's poll question. I mean, does it even count when haters vote? I mean,
gotta give them some credit.
Speaking of haters, John Gainey, thank you for joining the show this morning, John Gainey. Speaking of haters and smartasses and the one who called me, he's arrogant. John, by the way, John, was last Thursday the first time you ever watched this show? We've had 534 of them now. Did you not know what kind of personality I had before you started watching? Just wondering. But don't worry, he says, Jordan Tyson will come back and single-handedly win every game for the Saints. I get it. You're trying to be
just say
funny, haha. Like, funny, haha.
I said this in the Slack, and I said it to you, Jim, and I'm only half joking. So he's expected to come back week 5, and then week 6 they play at MetLife. I would just keep him out until week 7.
Oh, shit. Just keep him out the whole season. Okay.
No, I mean, MetLife's a little different. MetLife is notoriously the worst.
I got a feeling he's not even going on IR.
Muscular injuries.
I mean, he might. So, and look, I'm not going to be like other guys who cover the Saints or talk about the Saints on a regular basis who delete their tweets when something goes wrong and they're wrong and just delete that tweets and forget they exist. Not mentioning any names, but there are people that do that. I will admit when I'm wrong. Charles says he voted for so UBN wouldn't feel lonely in the basement. There you go. It wasn't just him. It was the Lions fan back there who earlier said that they could start their practice squad players and beat the Saints. I'm telling you, if you're a Lions fan and you think the Lions are just going to roll all over the Saints, go get it before it changes, because the Lions might be like -16 by the time the Saints start. By the time the game comes, go get it at -7. Bet 2, maybe 3 mortgage payments on it. We don't give financial advice on the show. I absolutely think we do not give financial advice on the show. You should certainly go out there, make 3 mortgage payments.
Did you put your mortgage payment on?
By the way, tongue in cheek doesn't always come across well. You watch about once a week and you wouldn't want me to change the thing. I know that. I'm kidding. All right, go ahead. Anyway,
did you put your mortgage payment on Lions #1 seed plus 790 yet?
No, I forgot. Damn it! Why? It's probably like
there's your reminder.
But maybe it went up. I don't know. Anyway. All right. UBNC is never lonely with all his personalities. You and me both. All right. Time to go. We are ready. We're going to have our AFC and NFC South picks on Thursday. That's going to be a whole lot of fun because we got we got one neutral observer, we got one hater, and we got the Saints editor and me. It should be interesting to see how how that goes. Sean says Lions beat right. No, maybe Lions fans should be worried about the Lions O-line. They should also be worried about the Lions secondary. And I know I picked them to win the division, but if you don't think that doesn't scare me, the only reason why I picked the Lions to win the division is because I think their schedule is that much easier than everybody else's.
Yeah, and I will say I was thinking about this the other day, because I get called a Saints hater semi-frequently by people who don't tune in, and that was my thing. Is my rebuttal is just going to be start
I almost
being
ended the show by knocking
UBN.
on the computer.
UBN fills that role. I don't need to be that. I can just be the neutral observer.
Yeah. You're definitely not a Saints hater.
No.
And honestly, I don't even think UBN's really a Saints hater. He's just a Saints antagonist. He likes to press everyone's buttons. You know, literally the only reason why he wants the Saints to lose is not because he hates the Saints, is because he wants Saints fans to be miserable. It's not about the Saints per se. It's more about the people who root for the Saints. That's just my perception.
It's kind of like why I hate Texas A&M.
Okay, well, there's lots of reasons.
As an LSU fan growing up in a predominantly Texas A&M centric area, I understand where he's coming from.
All right. Before we go off, you always help me pronounce stuff. Yeah. What the hell is Tillamook? Tillamook?
No.
Phil Mariani says Tillamook or Tillamook is better vanilla than Bluebell.
That's a good example, Chad.
Okay.
Like Chad with that.
I'll tell you what, Phil.
That's right.
I don't know if they have that around here, but if they do, I will definitely go find it. Anyway.
I've yet to find anything better than Bluebell.
All right.
Join the fantasy league.
Yeah. I'm with Gabe. Yeah. Gabe and I we actually agree a lot more than most people want to give us any props for. But Bluebell, if you think there's better ice cream, at least in the store. Now, I can go find a place that makes their own ice cream. There's a place close to us. I'll give them a shout out. Benny's, which is in Mandeville. Absolutely fantastic. I'll give them a free shout out because they're awesome. So I can find like places that make their own ice cream in-house, and you can go in there, and that might be better than Bluebell. But as far as going into a store and buying ice cream, there's nothing better than Bluebell. It's not. No. But I will try
Join the fantasy league.
I promise. Okay. There you go. All right. See you Thursday.
All righty.
By the way, we have birthday cakes and candles for Thursday's show?
Well, my birthday isn't
actually
until Monday.
On
we're gonna have a show on my birthday. Yeah. So
Right. All right. We will see you Thursday. John, you might not be right about a lot of stuff, but you are right about this. Angela Bricato's is in the store and rock 100%. And if you don't know what John's talking about, and we'll get way off. We always get way off topic here. It's the end of the show. We can do whatever we want. Angela Bricato's is, I don't like to say the F word, so I'm just going to say freaking phenomenal. Okay. What have I said it like 4 times in 5 years, Gabe? I don't know. Gabe got me to say it the first time. It's only 4 times in 5 years, but it's like 4 times in a year. It was about a year ago when he got me to say it the first time, and yeah, see, remember earlier in the show when I talked about opening Pandora's box? That's what happens. Good to visit the grocery. I visit the grocery store quite often, my friend. I know I don't seem like the guy. I wasn't always the guy that went to the grocery store a lot. My wife did that, still does it way more often than I do. But like I hardly ever did. Now I go to the grocery store probably twice a month. The wife goes at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. Anyway, Brian says another great show. Have a good one. Who that's? Absolutely. John also says being a Saints realist does not make me a hater. You know, you can't tell that to everybody though. And I know you were in the overall grand scheme of it, and not to go off on this philosophical debate, but there are people, I know y'all know this, but I like to bring it up. There are people who watch the Fanboy podcast because they can't stand to listen to anyone who has a negative opinion about anything they love. You could sit there and pick the Saints that are on the team that they don't like. Pick them out of a hat, whoever they are. You know who they are. When Derek Carr was here, you could talk bad about Derek Carr all day. Sorry, Lance. Whoever else. When Chris Olave stunk the first part of last year, you could talk bad about Chris Olave all day long, and they'd be with you. But if you talk bad about Saints people that are beloved, if you talk bad about Alvin Kamara, you talk bad about Taysom Hill, people call me an Alvin Kamara hater. I'm not an Alvin Kamara hater. I just think he doesn't belong on this football team. Did he belong on this football team for the 7 years he was awesome? Of course he did. Of course he did. He was fantastic. He's real close to Mount Rushmore of Saints. Did Taysom Hill, was he absolutely fantastic? Of course he was. But he didn't belong on this team last year, and he's done. But that makes me a hater. because I don't know. But people will listen to the Fanboy podcast because they will tell you what you want to hear. We don't tell you what you want. If I say something in this show, and if you're a regular or even a semi-regular, if you listen to the show for 8 times, you know that I mean it. You know that I mean that that's what I believe in. If I say it, I believe it. Ryan says, oh, trust me, Ryan, I have definitely tried cookie two-step. Okay? I have 100% tried it. Silvergate Creole cream cheese ice cream. I've been there too, my friend. UBN, there are no smoke detectors in the dungeon. I can do candles if I want. Charles says, great show. Thank you, sir. All right, now you're testing my pronunciation guide here, Ahmed. Stracciatella and St. Joe almond chocolate. I don't know that. Is that from the other one? I don't know that one. And Josh says Angelo's is gelato, a big difference. Yeah, it's a big difference, but it's still, I got to be honest. Okay? And call it ignorance, call it whatever you want. I remember earlier in the show, I gave a free shout out to Maribo. We had for dessert, my wife had this gelato where they poured coffee. It was vanilla bean gelato, and they poured coffee over it. Sorry, I call that ice cream. Call it ignorant if you want. I don't care. It's ice cream. It's Italian ice cream. It's the same shit. It just is. I know. Lance says he misses his Albertsons French bread. Look. Is there Albertsons? Does it exist anymore? I don't even know. All right. Once I break the seal. I know. If you put it, you made me say the F. You opened up the can of F-bomb worms, and now I'm trying to put it back in there, but it's hard to get it back in. All right, that's it. We gotta go. I got work to do. Thursday, again, we're gonna have a lot of fun. It is going to be AFC and NFC South picks. We're gonna give you our order of finish in the division, and I'll give you a little spoiler alert. My order of the NFC South has changed over the course of the last, let's say, at least 2 weeks, maybe even shorter time than that. I'm going to leave it at that. The order that I had 2 weeks ago is different than the order that I have today. Okay? I got to work on my palate. No, Josh, my palate is just fine. Everybody's palate is a little bit different, right? I will say this, for those of you who don't know me well enough. When I got COVID in 21, I lost my smell and taste for about, I would say that I lost about 2 years. I would have hints of it back and forth. I lost it for about 2 years. And then when I started getting back, it was like this altered sense of smell and taste for a while, maybe 6 months. And then it gradually came back. And I'd say the last year and a half to 2 years, it's probably 70% of what it was, both smell and taste. It's weird. It's so weird. Like, there are things that I can't, that taste completely, that are ruined, I guess, is the right way. Like, I can't eat cucumbers. I used to love cucumbers. For some reason, cucumbers, the taste of cucumbers has never come back, and they taste like poison. Like, literally poison. Although I can eat the hell out of pickles. You can, as long as you pickle a cucumber, I can eat it. But if you just put cucumber in a salad with oil and vinegar, can't eat it. Tastes like poison. It feels like someone's trying to poison me. Wait a minute, maybe someone is. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to do that today. What else? I can't eat donuts. I don't know what it is about donuts. I mean, you would say maybe it's the oil, but I can eat other fried things. There's some fried foods that don't taste right. So, but when it comes to ice cream, fine. Gelato, ice cream, whatever, doesn't matter. Gelato, Ahmed says gelato has more milk than regular ice cream. Okay. But it's still basically ice cream. I don't know. Mitch says Tillamook, or Tillamook, is it Tillamook or Tillamook? It's based out of Oregon. It's run by a farmer's co-op. Creamy and sinfully good. It may not replace Bluebell, but you never throw it away. No, I mean, ice cream, it has to be bad for me to throw it away. So anyway, going back to my COVID before I say goodbye. Yeah, my taste has never been 100% the same. I'll never get I'm convinced, and I'm fine with it because there are people that have never gotten their taste back 6 years later at all. So I consider myself lucky that I have it back 70%. But I can't smell certain like really bad smells. You can figure out what that means. But some things I'm oversensitive to, like when the dog comes in from outside and I'm the only one that can smell, it smells like horrendous, atrocious BO when the dog comes in from outside. Like if he jumps up on the bed and I'm like, God, get down, you smell awful. And my wife's like, what is wrong with you? It doesn't smell bad at all. Yep, parosmia. It's a real thing. I guess it's sort of I'm okay. Again, I'm okay with, I have learned to live with mine. And again, it could be way worse. I could have never, a lot of people don't get it back at all. They smell, they have parosmia for the rest of their, they have to smell these rotten smells for their entire, and rotten taste. Some people can't eat beef, or any meat. There are some people that, they can't eat any meat. It tastes like garbage. People that can't eat I know people who, randomly smell cigarette smoke when there's no cigarette smoke around. It's the craziest thing. That's a whole different show. It's so crazy. But yeah, Josh, you're 100% right. Lance, that's just not right. Lance, come on, man. Come on, man. That's so mean. If you're listening to podcast only and you're still here, it's just not being nice. All right. I swear we're really wrapping it up now. That is going to do it for us on this Mono E Monday. Had a lot of fun this morning. Thank you all for joining us. We're getting closer to the time when we have our, again, September the 13th. Sunday, September the 13th will be our first ever live pregame show. Starting on Sunday, September the 13th. We're going to do it just about every Sunday. There are a few Sundays during the season where we won't do it. It will be a live pregame show. We also probably will talk a little bit about LSU and Tulane from the night before, right? We kind of have to. So we're going to do that. It'll be a show every Sunday morning from 9 to 11, maybe drip in past the 11 a.m. hour. It's going to be a lot of fun with all of our regulars, all of our members. Everyone will be able to say whatever they please. That's what is fun about this show. But we'll be back again on Thursday, again, talking about the AFC and NFC South and whatever else comes up in camp this week. I'm sure we'll have some things come up in camp. And with that, whatever the hell his name is, what's his name? I got to go scroll back up. I don't even remember his name now. That's how important he is. The tight end. Oh, boy. Live TV, Derry. Live TV, whatever the hell his name is. The guy that's going to be Daquan Wright. There we go. Gabe didn't know. He was shaking his head. I don't know. Don't look at me. I'm not going to help you. Daquan Wright could be an LSU Tiger by the time we come back on Thursday. But remember, tell your friends about it. Not just about Evangeline Securities. No, tell them about the Dattitude podcast. A reminder to subscribe to our YouTube page if you haven't already done so. Tell your friends about us, how much fun we have every Monday and Thursday and Sunday during the regular season. Click the little bell to receive notifications when we go on the air live and give us the thumbs up. You can also find us wherever you get your podcast, including Apple, Spotify, and many more. Gabe, Zach, UBN, and I will all be here on Thursday. Have a great few days. Don't do anything without us. I mean, we want to have fun too. So whatever fun you're going to have, save it for us. We'll do it all together on Thursday. And until then, take it easy, my friends.